Iowa Debris and Jennifer Lopez on talent.
Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio Show. I'm the CakeDive, and today we've ran out of ideas. So what I'm going to finally talk about is the fact that I listened to "This Is Me Now," Jennifer Lopez's album, so you don't have to. Um, yeah, we're scraping the barrel here with Vlogsmas. It's the 19th day of Vlogsmas. By the way, we got like what 6 days left. We scraping the barrel, yo. We scraping the barrel. We scraping the barrel, yo. We scraping the barrel. But Jennifer Lopez released an album. Nobody bought it. It went like triple clearance. And I talked about it on the Cake Radio podcast a while back. But one of the things that I didn't mention, at least I don't remember mentioning, is the fact that I listened to the album, and this is also the first Jennifer Lopez album I've listened to in full, because I don't fuck with that lady. I don't fuck with that bitch. But anyways, we've listened. I've heard Lucy's here and there because again, like she's had her hits. Can't take that from her. And you know, there's obviously stuff that hits the radio, that hits the movies and stuff like that. Like I am aware of Jennifer Lopez. Don't get it twisted. But do I like the lady? No. Will I listen to a body of work? No. Until now, of course, because I've listened to This Is Me Now. But would I do it ever again? Absolutely not. But let's talk about this, y'all, because it's getting late and I ain't posted this episode yet, but we gotta post this episode. So there's 13 tracks. This Is Me Now, To Be Yours, Mad in Love, Can't Get Enough, Not Going Anywhere, Rebound, Dear Ben Part 2, Hummingbird, Hearts and Flowers, Broken Like Me, This Time Around, Midnight Trip to Vegas, and Greatest Love Story Never Told. And this album is about her romance with Ben Affleck, and is following up like the 2002 album that like was inspired by that relationship. And they got back together. She was right. I talked about it on the other episode of the podcast when I covered the This Is Me Now era, and how this is kind of like the final moment, the downfall of J-Lo, the end of her career, so to speak. I mean, she'll be fine. Like she's gonna keep acting and stuff like that, but like music wise, we're probably not gonna see nothing new from her for a long time, if we even get anything new from her. But she got back with men. She was trying to develop this album. She was pulling love letters from that he wrote for her and was handing them out to like her songwriters, because she can't write nor sing. But her songwriters came up with some songs for this album, and her producers came together to produce some songs. And this is also probably like the first album that she's like sung on her own, because you could tell that she's in the studio on her own. Congratulations for being in the studio for the first time. But like this was an interesting ride. So the title track, This Is Me Now, is not great. The best part that I enjoyed off of that title track was like the beat. Definitely thought it was fun. I like the beat. So yeah, like I need to preface this that like even though I'm a hater of J-Lo, like I was still trying to approach this album with like an open mind, because I'm like, you know what, like maybe the girls wasn't like, maybe we hating on it too much, because anybody can wrestle with the critics. Like maybe there's like a little diamond in the rough. Maybe the girls are just like, maybe the girls can come back, maybe the girls can be forgiven, stuff like that. This first track, I was like, what the hell is going on? Because baby, her vocals, oh, oh, like there's something going on. There's something in the water. Like there's something going on. Cause like that's her song. That's her tone throughout the song. And like the other thing is like you can tell that it's very like scratchy in terms of her tone and delivery. The funniest part, like, and with this track, like I laughed. Like it's kind of shocking how like, because it it doesn't take much for me to laugh, but like when it comes to music, like music is usually like a very serious, form of art. So very rarely, unless you're trying to be unserious, like very rarely will I laugh at like a song. But what got me to laugh here on this title track was the ending like vocal from her, the ending like delivery or like hook, so to say, when she is like, "This is me now." Like what? And like like it was just like it kind of threw me a little bit because I'm like, girl, what is you doing? It just like the whole song just didn't prepare me for none of this. To Be Yours, mind you, I listened to this like I listened to this album months ago, and I'm like revisiting it now. But To Be Yours, we only listened to it once. I said once, never again. To Be Yours was an okay track, and like it was kind of like whatever. Like it seems like a lot of the tracks that I listened to on this album were very much like, oh, like it's whatever. Like it's like at best it was like, oh, it's a whatever track, but at worst it's like, what the hell is going on here, J-Lo? Because To Be Yours was a very like it's whatever track for me, and like it kind of caught me off guard because again, like this track and like Mad in Love and Can't Get Enough and Not Going Anywhere, like it just seems like there's a lot of like she's going for a sound here that like it sounds as if she's going for like okay, from track to track it's jarring because like you'll have tracks in which it'll be like very lovey-dovey, very dramatic, very melodramatic if you ask me, in which like she's like trying to or like she's getting her songwriters to pour their hearts out about this relationship. And then you'll also have tracks like Can't Get Enough, in which it is very pop heavy tracks, and the compilation of the, album, how it follows throughout each like track, again, is like jarring to me because it's like it doesn't make sense to me. Like you're kind of bouncing between like, I don't know, like it feels like the song, like at least beat wise, is jarring. It throws me a little bit. Like thematically looking at this track list, like it does make sense thematically. Like it makes sense that like she allegedly put some thought here, or her team put some thought here towards the tracks, but not enough thought for me to like really get it. Rebound is like, I could take it or leave it. Dear Ben Part 2, I actually had to like pause Dear Ben Part 2 to go back to listen to the original Dear Ben on like the This Is Me Then track to like really kind of understand like, how does this follow the original, and like how does this compare to the original. The original was better. Like I'll give her some props with the original Dear Ben track off of like This Is Me Then, my kind of run circles around This Is Me Now. No shade, not even no shade, like all shade. Hummingbird was like kind of Hearts and Flowers, I legitimately don't remember what was going on in that song. Like you could like I don't remember like what happened in that track. Now, one of my favorite tracks on the album, like this is very odd for me to say for a J-Lo track, but J-Lo body of work. But one of my favorite tracks, not even like one of, the favorite track that I've had on this album was Broken Like Me. Broken Like Me kind of sounds like the type of song, and even though this is like my first introduction to like Jennifer Lopez in terms of like albums, because I've never sat through and listened to a full album from Jennifer Lopez. But at her grown age, in the point of life that she is at, honestly, Broken Like Me should have been the vibe or like the sound that she should have went for with this album, because it is it's a raw track. It's not overproduced, because like again, one of my issues with this album was that it sounded very overproduced to me. you have these overproduced tracks, I Can't Get Enough, and like This Is Me Now. Even like the intro sounds very overproduced. And then you have something like Broken Like Me, which is very stripped back. You can hear her voice. You can kind of hear some of the pain in her voice. And the subject of the song is really like central to it. So like I gotta give her props with that track. Like I can't be strict all the time. I gotta give her something with that track, and she kind of did it with that track. And for me, I'm looking around crazy because it's like, girl, like the rest of this album's awful, but like you have this fairly good track here. Like what was the mood? Like what was you thinking? Like did no one on the team like listen to this track and be like, oh, like we need to like change this around a little bit because like this is kind of giving, like this is what you should be doing? Because I feel like if that was the vibe and the aesthetic that the album had just generally, obviously it would step out of like the This Is Me, subject line, which is about like romance, and like it kind of is because it's about heartbreak, but and like I guess the personal damages that people bring into a relationship and stuff like that. But girl, she didn't make a lick of sense. Like you have a good track like that against a bunch of bad ones. Like I'm so confused. Like I'm a little bit lost. Like I'm looking around, like that one gif of Abby Lee Miller when that lady with the Karen wig like poked her or whatever, or like clocked her. You know the scene I'm talking about. But anyways, this time around is okay. Midnight Trip to Vegas is fine. Like I could take it or leave it. And Greatest Love Story Never Told was like the track in which I'm like, thank God it's over. Like I had a sigh of relief because I was just like done with this album. The album's 44 minutes long, but it felt like 2 hours. Because again, like back to back, it just felt like there was a lot of tracks in which I'm like, how long is this? Like what the hell is going on? Like this is jarring. Like I looked very confused listening to this album. But I feel like a lot of people probably were a little confused listening to this album because, people weren't going back re-listening to this album. People didn't buy tickets to the tour. That's why she canceled the tour. Ben was probably confused by, this album and by the decisions that she was making here because, like, they went and got a divorce. That didn't last. No shade. But yeah, I didn't like the album. I only like one track off the album, which kind of says a lot. There's a deluxe. Y'all, I just found out there's it's just the remixes that they did. Rebound featuring Anul AA. Can't Get Enough featuring Lotto. Now, I listened to the Lotto one. I actually kind of like the Lotto one just because of the fact that, like, Lotto's kind of that girl no shit. Like, I know the girls don't like Lotto because it's like, oh, like, she a light skin pretending to be black and she be going hard with that little black scent she got going on or, like, whatever. But she kind of raps. Like she kind of a good rapper, no shit. Like she kind of got it. Like if y'all was willing to pretend that y'all like Drake for the past couple of decades until that Drake and Kendrick beef went around, I can actually like Lotto for a little bit. Like I think y'all can give me that. And there's a Bruno Mars remix. Is that Bruno Mars? Does that say Bruno Mars? I know it doesn't fucking say Bruno Mars. I know that's not who I think it is. Oh, Bruno Martini remix. I jumped. Y'all heard the reaction. I jumped a little bit because I'm like, how did she pull that off? But that was my thoughts on This Is Me Now. I hope y'all enjoyed this cute little episode of the Cake Radio podcast on the 19th day of Vlogsmas. We have 6 more days left, I believe. We're getting to the end. If y'all have any ideas, please let me know what y'all want me to talk about. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube where you get episodes before anyone else. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, thank you so much for listening. I will get these episodes up on the podcast platform soon. Give me some time and I'll talk to y'all later. Tomorrow, actually. Bye-bye.